Here's how to do hip thrusts for tall girls. So I'm 5'11" or 180 centimeters tall, and hip thrusts are definitely one of my booty building faves and a staple in all of my programming. I'm gonna run through my top tips for how to perform this exercise. So first and foremost, you wanna make sure that your bench is at the right height. Otherwise, this will throw off the rest of the exercise. So the right height is making sure the bench sits just under your shoulder blades. Next up is foot placement. So here's a little hack. If you're sitting up straight, place your hands out in front of you and you bring the heels of your feet up to your fingertips. This will mean that once you're pressing up and the barbell's in place, your legs will be at a 90 degrees at full lockout. Now, if your feet are too close to your glutes, then you're gonna be working more quads. If your feet are too far away, you're gonna be working more hamstrings. So feet at a 90 degrees will make sure that you're targeting glutes. You wanna make sure that your chin is tucked, your eyes are forward, and that your ribs aren't flaring. Now there's two ways to do hip thrusts. There's a scoop method and there's a hinge method. And both of these are perfectly fine. It comes down to what you're more comfortable with. The scoop method is where your hips kind of drive the bar up. As you can see, it's more of a scooping motion. And then the hinge method is where your entire body moves and we're hinging up. Either way is totally fine. Just see what works for you. So putting all these tips together, this is how your hip thrust should look. Nice deep breath in, pressing up, squeeze at the top of the movement, eyes are forward, chin is tucked, and then returning back down. Pressing back up again. I did 2 reps and my glutes are already feeling it. Definitely one of the best exercises that you can do for your glutes. Make sure to pause for a second at the top of every single rep and yeah, feel the burn. I hope these tips have been helpful. And if you're looking for more tall girl tips, I'm your girl.
So I used to absolutely hate my broad shoulders because I would always get made fun of. But now you cannot tell me that round, juicy delt is not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. So let's train some goddamn shoulders. You're going to do all these movements back to back to back, no breaks to really fire up that burn. You're going to start with 10 lateral raises, and then you're going to go right into 10 alternating shoulder presses. Now that's 10 each side, so that's 20 total, girl. Now this is where it's going to get a little dicey. Shoulders are already burning, but you're going to go right into 10 rainbows. I don't know what it is about these jokers, but they crush my soul every time. The finish line is in sight. You're going to hit 10 underhand front raises. The key here is underhand. That's really going to hit that front delt. And to finish, you're going to hit a 10-second lateral iso hold. I don't know why I'm smiling. I'm not happy. That shit definitely hurts. But yeah, shout out all the boys in high school that used to tell me I had linebacker shoulders. If they hit this workout, maybe one day they could too.
I'm so glad you brought this up because people do not understand how hard it is to be a tall girl in the gym. We have to work so much harder than the short girls. For some reason, these 5'1" B words are getting the bodies faster. Can somebody explain the science behind it? Because I don't get it. The only thing that I think about, I remember when I first started out on my fitness journey, I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like, I'm seeing all these girls, I'm doing the same workouts, I'm eating the same thing, but like for some reason, I'm not really looking like that. And I know genetics play like a gigantic role. But then I thought about it. I've never seen a midget with a flat ass, ever. All midgets be thick. All midgets are quite literally dragging that wagon. So like something about being short and thick, like it just goes together. A lot of the times I'll see exercises and then I try to do them and I'm like, wow, I look really stupid doing this right now because it doesn't look like the short girl that was demonstrating it online. But it's okay because I am here and I'm gonna hold it down for us. And I feel like I just wanna start like a whole community of tall gym girls because we are the only ones that understand each other's pain.
I'm here to talk to my tall girlies again. And like I said before, we established, right? Tall is 5'8" and up, right? We wanted to say 5'9", but we let in the 5'8" pass, okay? So we're here to talk about things that you just have to accept as a tall gym girly. Number one, your journey is not going to be the same as most people. You can't look at somebody that's 5'5", 5'6", and think that your results are going to be the same. I used to compare myself so many times. It got sick. It got really sick. I'll be like, damn, how her quads growing like that? I do legs 3 times a week. My legs should be much bigger than that. Oh, baby. She was 5'5". Little Miss Sexy walking down the street. Number 2, nutrition. As a tall gym girly, yes, it is much harder to get to that goal. We have to consume a lot of protein to maintain all of this, right? Yo! You know how they say, why it take you so long to work out? This is why. Y'all know I hate squats, right? Our long steamers, we have to go down so low. So yes, squats is tough, but we just have to work harder than the average person, and that's okay. That just makes us more badass, if you ask me.
If you are a tall girl or even just have really long legs in general, keep on watching because I will be talking about how I managed to grow my glutes from this to this within 5 months. You can see the timestamps there, just under half a year, and also how I happened to help one of my really sweet followers who reached out to me make her transformation as well, as you can also see on the screen. First thing that I think I should just say, stop comparing yourself to gym influencers that are like 8 inches shorter than you. I used to follow, and I still follow some because I absolutely love them, but I used to follow loads of influencers that were like 5'2", hoping to see the same progress that they were seeing, and also trying to copy the way that they did certain exercises, and it just didn't work, and it led to me having really bad back pain because I physically could not do what they were doing based on my proportions, having a really short torso and really long legs. So make sure you are very cautious about who you follow, and make sure you check the heights and really only follow people who kind of look like you. In terms of exercises, I made sure to train my glutes like twice a week, sometimes 3, and I would do a full leg day, 2 glutes and hammies days, because I realized that my quads were growing quite quickly, but I wasn't seeing that much, growth in my glutes, so I switched it and started focusing on my glutes a bit more. You do need time to recover, so you break down your muscle in the gym by working really hard and training till failure, but the recovery and the eating the protein and that rest time will allow you to build up that muscle and will allow for growth overall. So making sure that you are working really hard, progressively overloading is super important, eating enough protein as well, but then again, allowing for recovery. Don't train your legs on consecutive days or too frequently as well, because that can actually hinder growth. So making sure you have time where you can actually just sit, rest and recover. If you are still struggling and you just want some personalized help, follow me on here, follow me on Instagram as well, and then drop me a DM and send me your before pictures and what your goals are, and I will literally just give you a workout split and help you as much as I can. Honestly, like, no strings attached. I just want to help people because I would have saved so much time if I knew all the information that I know now when I first started out in the gym.
Okay, so this one is for all my tall girls out there who just need to hear something like this. Something that I wish I had heard, or I had heard from some fitness influencer when I was starting up my journey. When I started up my journey, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was just doing it, right? And I would follow a bunch of these like fitness influencers who I wanted to look like, but I was never gonna look like them because they were 5 feet, 5'4", 5'2", and I'm 6 foot. So I was just, like, for a long time, very, very, very depressed in my own head, not really showing it out to anybody, but I was just like so sad because I was putting in so much work, so much time, so much effort into the gym, and I was just like, why don't I look the way I want to look? Like, what is going on? But I never really thought about it, or I never heard it from anybody, so I didn't know any better, like I was just doing these things and I wanted to look a certain way, but I never really put it into my own head that I wasn't gonna look like that. And that's just where I was at. I was stuck in a place mentally to where I was like, I want to look this way, but I never told myself, girl, like, you're not gonna look like them. You are taller. Your body's gonna look so much different than everyone else because, first of all, you have some long ass legs. Like, I am more leg than I am torso, and I know for women, taller women, it's different. You either have like a longer torso, longer legs, or just very long torso and legs, But in my case, I have long ass legs. So for my long ass legs, this is like 4th year down, like it takes time to build the leg. It takes time and it takes a lot of food. So if you are a taller woman and you are trying to get ass, legs, glute, hammy, quad, all that, eat, and don't fucking shy away from eating. I used to fucking starve myself. Like, wow, I don't know. See, I want to slap old Carla because old Carla was not doing anything right. But old Carla, Not me fucking up my own name. But old Carla didn't know any better, and she didn't have like any advice from, not me talking in third person. I didn't know any better because I never really followed anyone who was like my height in the fitness industry, you know? So this is me trying to help all you tall girls out there. Don't shy away from food. When you're working out, stop doing 15, 20 reps. Do 6 to 8 reps on the max weight. Give yourself some grace and some patience. I promise you that it will work if you stick to it. I promise.
Hey, sorry, honey. Sorry.
Why would I listen to you? It's about to make me mad right here.
And I'm feeling so petite today. I got to keep this going. I got to keep this going throughout the day and tomorrow. I'm talking about.
Okay, tall gym girls, listen up. I'm going to tell you a few things that the gym community doesn't really like to talk about with tall girls. So first of all, tall women, okay, I'm 5'9". It's going to be a lot harder for us to put on muscle in comparison to someone who's short, okay? There are girls I know who are like 5 foot, 5'2", and they can put on muscle in their legs so freaking quickly, okay? But then for us taller girls, it can take triple the amount of time it takes a short girl to put on even the tiniest bit of muscle, you know what I mean? Also, not to mention, tall girls, we have to change up our form so much. So do not be distraught. Do not be confused if you're going down and doing RDLs and your form looks completely different than someone who's 5 foot. Okay? If you're doing hip thrusts, your form is probably going to look completely different than someone who's 5 foot. If you're doing Bulgarian split squats, deadlifts, whatever, your form is going to look different. Okay? And that is okay. That's normal. What matters most is that when you're doing the movement, you're actually feeling it where you're supposed to, okay? Because from experience, you don't want to be straining your back. Also, if you tall girls want to bulk, it's going to be so freaking difficult. I remember, I'm not saying not to throw you off, like it's obviously possible. It's just a little bit more difficult than a short girl bulking. When I was bulking, I was eating like, I'm also very, very active. Just want to preface that by very, very active person. But I was eating like 3,500 calories a day. Again, I lift every day. I get my steps in, Stairmaster, and I play pickleball. So like these are needed calories. But like someone who is doing the same activity level as me does not need to be eating that much food if they're shorter. That being said, tall girls also have a lot of advantages that short girls do not have, okay? Like it's a lot easier for us to be a lot leaner, okay? It's a lot easier for us to be leaner and like not have to worry about it. Like for me, even when I bulked, I had abs. And that's just because I'm built like that. And kind of piggybacking off of that, you can be a little bit more lenient with your food. And realistically, you're either gonna just like let's just say you go a little bit over your calories for the day. It's not really that big of a deal because your threshold is a lot larger since you're taller in comparison to a shorter person. Like I feel like shorter people, they eat like one thing a little bit too over and then boom, like you see that. But then when you're taller, it's not as prevalent. Does that make sense? I don't know. All I'm saying is I think someone needs to talk about being a tall gym girl a little bit more because there are some things that are not regularly talked about.
You know what I feel like needs to be talked about more in the gym community is training for your height. Now, I say this because I'm 5'8". I'm not super, super tall, but I'm also not one of these short girls. And I've been training for strength for over 5 years. And I'm just putting these numbers out there just so you can understand where my strength is. My squat has gotten up to 285 pounds. My deadlift has gotten up to 325. And like my bench, which doesn't really matter for this topic, is up to 205. So I'm very strong. But when I was training specifically for strength, I wasn't seeing any growth, especially in my legs. When I started to see the growth, I was touching weights maybe like half the size of my max weights, and I was pushing them for reps on reps on reps on reps, and that's when I started to see growth. But then you see those 5'2" girls who can do 5x5s and for squats and 5x5s for like hip thrusts, and they're growing like at a crazy rate, but I have to do upwards of like 15 reps, and I have to do sets till failure of like moderate weight in order to see growth. So I'm curious, all my tall girls out there, how do you train in order to see growth in your legs?
Being a 5'10" girly myself, there is nothing more chic to me in my mind than when I see a couple walking towards me and they're both tall. Like, I think that being tall as a couple is an accessory. You don't even need to be stylish. You don't need to be doing all that. But if you both are tall, that in itself is like an accessory to me, and you are automatically so chic and like elegant and elevated to me. I just like something about it. It's my bread and butter. And I think even more so if the girl is just like only a teensy bit shorter than the guy. Oh, yes, like 1,000 times yes.